Hey guys, I'm making a couple short videos for this this work that I left y'all. Now, a lot of this should be review from the past week, but I think there's a couple questions on here that might be a little confusing. If you hear any hiccups, it's because I'm holding my baby while making this video. So yeah, if you hear any hiccups or anything like that, that's the reason. Okay, so so for these first four graphs, it wants to know what the slope and the y-intercept is of these graphs. Now this should be a super easy question. I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to say what is the equation then for each of these. Now that doesn't really add any extra work, because if you have the slope and you have the y-intercept, then you can make the equation, right? Well, let's look. The y-intercept, okay, the y-intercept for this first one is just 1, right? That's where it crosses the y-axis. So the y-intercept, do y'all remember what variable stands for the y-intercept? It's b. So the y-intercept is 1. Okay, and then what's the slope? Well, this one does the work for us, really. Look, so here's the other point. If you remember, to find the slope, you only need 2 points. Go up 1, 2, and then go over 1. So the slope is, remember, we use m for slope. Slope is 2 over 1, or just 2. Okay, now let's make the equation. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, hopefully that's review for us at this point. You just put the slope where the m goes and the y-intercept where the b goes. So the equation is y equals 2. You could do 2 over 1x. I'm just going to do 2x, because 2 and 2 over 1 are the same thing, plus 1. Sorry. Okay, so that's what you're going to do for this section. Next section is super easy. So it just wants to know what is the slope and what's the y-intercept from the equation. Well, the slope on number 5, remember, is just the number in front of x, so it's 3. Well, let's go ahead and make it a fraction. It's 3 over 1, right? So that's the slope. Now what's the y-intercept? Well, it is positive 4. So the y-intercept is 4. Okay, so let me do a second one real quick. I want to look at number 7. Now, obviously, we're missing something here, right? What is this number? Well, that's our slope. So our slope is 1/2. So remember, on a graph, that would mean you would go up 1, then you would go over 2. Now, do we have a y-intercept? No, I don't see anything over here. So when there's nothing given for your y-intercept, that means your y-intercept is 0. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have a y-intercept. What that means is the y-intercept is at the origin. So if I were to sketch a graph real quick, the origin is this point right here, right? So that means the line goes through the y-axis at that point. That's what it would look like. Okay, now for this section, you're going to graph these lines. So graphing tends to go pretty quickly. I'll do a couple on here. Let's do the first one. Okay. So remember, this is written in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay. Where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So the easiest part first is just to graph the y-intercept, which is 5. So we go up to 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's our y-intercept. And then our slope is going to be, it's not the x, but it's the number in front of x, which in this case is what? Well, it's 1, right? So our slope is 1. However, remember, we want our slope to be written as a fraction. Think of it as rise over run. So how can you make 1 a fraction? Well, just make it 1 over 1, right? Okay, so 1 over 1. So what that means is we're gonna from our y-intercept, we're gonna go up 1, then we're gonna go to the right 1, and then we're just gonna keep doing that. Okay, and then we have our line. Now we're gonna work backwards also, so go down 1 over 1 like that, and so we just fill this out, and hopefully you see it creates a straight line, right? That's what we want. We don't want any curved or angled lines. We need a straight line. Now this is a positive slope, which is good because our slope here is positive. All right, I'm not gonna do that one. Let's do this one. All right, so y equals negative 4x plus 1. Okay, our slope is negative 4. Our y-intercept is 1. So put a point at your y-intercept. And now a slope of negative 4, remember, let's make this a fraction. So if it's a whole number, just put it over 1. Now, please notice the slope is negative, right? So negative means go down, then over. So we are going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. So that's our next point right here. So then to keep creating this line, we're going to go down 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, like that. Now we don't just want this part of the line, remember we want this way too. So let's go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1 right here. Okay, and that's going to be all we can fit on this graph. Alright. How about one more? Those are fine. Okay, let's do this one. So remember, if we have the form y equals mx plus b, what's the thing we're missing here? Well, we're missing the b, which is our y-intercept. So if you remember, you can go ahead and do this, just to visualize what's going on. If you remember, if you don't have anything, that means it goes through the origin. Okay, it's the same thing as saying plus 0, and then it goes through the origin, but you don't have to do that. And then our slope is 2. Now, it's a whole number, so let's make it 2 over 1. And it's positive, so we're going to go up 2 over 1. So let's count up 1, 2 over 1, like that. Okay, and you're just going to keep following that pattern. So up 2 over 1 every time. Then let's go down 2 over 1 to work backwards. Down 2 over, down, just like that. And now we have a line. So that's what I was talking about earlier up here with this question right here. Just because it doesn't give you a y-intercept, say it didn't give us one, that doesn't mean there isn't one. That means the y-intercept is at 0. Okay, it's at the origin right here. Okay, so remember, to find the slope of a line that you cannot see, you only need 2 points. Okay, you just need 2 points, which is what all these questions give you. Okay, and you have to use, let's try and remember, you have to use what's called the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1. Hopefully we are committing that to memory by this point, over x2 minus x1. And I'm just going to do one of these. Let's just pick a random one. Let's do 5. I mean, b, 5. Okay, so if you remember what you have to do is you have to label every point, the left number is an x and the right number is a y. So what that means is this -5 is x, this 3 is y, -4 is x, 9 is y. Now this point is our first x and our first y. This point is our second x and our second y. Okay, so now y2 is 9, minus y1 is 3, over x2 is -4, minus x1 is -5. Okay, 9 minus 3 is going to be 6. Okay, now, please remember this, minus a negative means plus, so this is really saying -4 plus 5, which is just 1. So our slope is 6 over 1, or if it's over 1, you could just call it 6. Okay, that is our slope. And that's all these questions are asking for here, is it wants you to use the slope formula to find the slope of these 4 lines that you cannot see. Okay, this one says find the value of y so that this has a slope of 2 over 3. I'm not going to worry. Let's not worry about that question for today. Let's not worry about these. Okay, so we're marking some of these out, so that means what we don't mark out, I really need y'all to do. So we're getting rid of some of these. Okay. Y'all see this phrase rate of change? Draw an arrow to it and say slope. Okay, rate of change is the same thing as slope. And rate of change is probably something y'all heard last year. Let me show you what to do. See this table right here? Okay, the top row is your x values and the bottom row is your y values. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the slope from a table. Okay, so what this means is each of these right here is our points. Okay, they're points on a graph. The top number is your x and the bottom number is your y. So let's take this point and this point. Okay, so that'd make this point 1, 10. Okay, that's our first point. And our second point is 3, 14. Now, if we have 2 points, what can we do to find the slope? Well, remember, it's that slope formula. So we can label these. Okay, so your job is to find the slope of this table. Okay, and you have the 2 points to use right here. So what do you think you have to use to find that? Well, it is the slope formula. Okay, so that's how you find the slope from a table. Okay, so that's on you to do. I want you to go ahead and do that. And now this will be the end of this video, and the next video is going to be for the next couple sheets.